Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today's video will be all about the different traps, how to set them up, traits to help strengthen your traps and ambushes, some tips and tricks along the way. This guide is basically targeted for new players, but hopefully the experienced players will also be able to learn a thing or two. There are many ways to play Hunt Showdown. Some players go on the offense, making a shit ton of noise along the way, but that's not all. They got enough skill to be confident enough to be able to do that without worrying about the consequences. And on the other hand, we got players who will camp 40 minutes inside a building with shotguns and no skill other than catching you by surprise. No matter how you play this game, sometimes you will go against players that will simply outmatch you when it comes to aiming and other things. So in those situations, what you can do is play smart and bait them with a plan in mind to outmaneuver them in difficult situations using deception tools and techniques. Traps play a big role in that, and it's safe to say traps are important for strategic as well as defense plays. Remember, this game is all about patience and bouncing when the right opportunity comes. Let's get started. I'm sure you all know about the different traps, both in game and the ones you can equip yourself with, along with the deception tools. How to bait players into your traps? Remember, it's situational and can't be applied in all situations. Good players tend to be overconfident sometimes and may try to reposition to catch you unaware. But if you're already expecting him, it can be sort of a bait or lure to separate him from the team and attack him head on with your full squad. Another way is to get in a firefight with one of the guys. Just make sure you don't peek from a bad angle or same angle multiple times or attack more than one hunter at a time. And when you get shot, simply run for a cover. Overconfident players may try to finish you off by rushing in, and that is when your traps will come into play. Just be sure not to fall into your own traps. You can also bait players by using deception tools like decoys or silencer pistol to make noise over a distance, like hitting a zombie or a bell or a barrel over opposite direction. And you can also use chaos bomb, which has a more realistic sound now, and if you combine your own shots with it, it may appear as if there are two different teams, and you might be able to attract players to your position. Let's get started with the tips. This one is for the beginners. If you are holed up in a building, be sure to close the windows to stop future incoming bombs and possibly make it harder for enemy hunters to see. Also, there are many compounds with entrances that can cover the traps in such a way that they are almost invisible. Arden Parish entrances to the house on the side is one of an example. Find the spots and put traps there. Also trap any exit or entering location with any kind of traps as you can. On number second traps at non-obvious routes and points. An advanced trick for experienced players is when you're trapping a certain point, you can assume that good players already expect there to be a trap already. So they will already be careful, so plant your traps at a certain distance from the point instead of up close, since that can catch them by surprise. Also, you can put traps in places they probably don't expect, such as bridge, a ledge of the compound where they can't spot the trap in time, some stairs that lead to upper levels of the compound, underground entrances. The options are endless. Just try to think, how can you surprise your enemies? Now, we are going to talk about the third point, which is you should definitely combine traps for more effective defense. This one is for beginners. To combine traps, first plant your trip mines in any order, then combine them with the beer trap on top to further rack up the defenses. The trip mines could be any type, but up close in a building, concentrina and poison trip mines are preferred. You can ask your teammates to bring one of each type or similar types to be able to trap more places in case you are up against good players or multiple teams. Remember, it's a defense technique. Most players in Hand Showdown are hasty and will eventually push you. That's your chance. You just have to wait for one of them to make a mistake. Keep your ears open for any kind of sound of activity so you can use the opportunity when it pops up. Remember, in no way I endorse camping, but sometimes it becomes necessary in situations like teammates being down, multiple teams, or a team that is way above your skill level. Most importantly, watch out for grenades since you will be very vulnerable in closed spaces. So close the windows and try to stay away from open places and get behind good cover. Now, on number four, alert trip mines are probably the most underrated mines in my opinion. You can use them to trap any kind of barrel in different places of the compound and just wait for one of the enemy hunters to get blown into bits. Remember to always let your friends know if you trap a barrel though. For experienced players, try to put multiple alert trip mines onto barrels to extend its range to maximize the chances of someone stepping on it, since good players usually try to avoid barrels up close, so that can really help and maybe catch someone unexpectedly. On number 5, other than the normal traps, you can use poison bombs to restrict a certain entry point or concertina bomb. But good players usually
इसके
take
इधर
poison
से पढ़िए
shots in the start of
हाँ
the match, so it's not the most reliable method.
नाइस
If you don't have traps, don't worry, use the lamps, lanterns to ignite a certain area of entry, of passage, for a certain amount of time for other hunters. Flares also come in handy for in blinding a certain area, making it easier for you to reposition, revive a partner, and make it harder for enemy hunters to see, especially at night. Also, if you have enough time to set up in a compound, round up all the lanterns you can find and get rid of them so your enemies have a hard time burning any one of you. And remember, you can press X to turn on and off a lantern. Now, on number 6, another extension of using traps comes with a combination of consumables and traps underwater. Now, using it in open water is only situationally effective. However, if the extraction points are in water, then you have an opportunity to catch the enemy off guard since the traps underwater are almost invisible. If you did not already know, some consumables do not detonate upon thrown in the water. However, they can be shot at to ignite the explosion underwater. This works with only a few consumables, and Sticky Bomb tops the list. Apart from the concertina and poison traps, which works normally, you can combine sticky bombs with alert trip mines near the boat, which will explode upon contact and can take most enemies in one shot. However, this is tricky and luck plays a part in there too. Now let's talk about some traits that you can use with the traps. One of them is Frontiersman, which allows you to increase the amount of total tools that you can carry, increasing your trip mines by one or sometimes even two, depending upon the trip mines. In case of alert trip mines, it's two, and in case of concentrated trip mines, it's one. And the other one is Poacher. What Poacher does is it allows you to place and disarm the traps quickly. Now, Poacher can be used aggressively in combat as well. If you are in a mid fight, you can totally use Poacher since you will technically still be putting the traps very quietly. Now, the last one is Decoy Supply, which, since decoys are deception tools, you can totally restock them by going to the supply points to have them restocked completely in one shot. That's all for this video. I hope you learned a thing or two. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.